Today, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to take a store-bought pork belly and turn it into some homemade bacon. Let's get it. Listen, if you're like me, you love bacon, and the store-bought stuff is just okay. Follow this recipe, and I'm going to show you how to make the best bacon you've ever had. Okay, so first things first, we got to get it out of the package, dab it off a little bit. It's going to be slimy and gross, but that's all right. Then what we're going to want to do, we're going to divide this guy into even thirds. So use your knife, use your best reference, and you're going to cut one slab off, then pick it up and lay it up over the top of the next piece, so that way you can get a consistent, even chunk. For this recipe, you're going to need to get yourself a skin-off pork belly. This one I picked up from Costco. It's roughly about 13 pounds. It sent me back around $45, so not too bad. Okay, so after we got our meat cut up, we're going to work on our cure. So for this, we're going to do 1 cup of dark brown sugar. We're going to follow that up with 2 whole tablespoons of thick, coarse black pepper. For me, I absolutely love Cajun food, so we're going to be making some Bayou bacon today. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 tablespoons of holy voodoo. Then we're going to follow that up with 1 tablespoon of slap yo mama to give it a little bit of that heat, y'all. The best part of making this bacon yourself is you don't have any of those disgusting nitrates in there. We're just simply using some kosher salt. So for this, you're going to need to do a 1/2 cup of kosher salt. All right, so we're going to give everything a little bit of a mix here. Go ahead and use your hands, it's completely fine. We're just trying to get all these spices and seasonings and sweetness, everything all evenly mixed, because we're going to go ahead and apply this to our pork belly here in just a second, all right? So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and season up our bacon. This is easily my favorite bacon recipe. If you like what you're seeing so far, do me a favor and please subscribe to the channel. Okay, back to business. So make sure you get your pork belly and you put it in an aluminum tray. I feel this works best because it allows you to capture all the extra seasoning. You wanna make sure that you thoroughly coat your bacon on all sides, edges, everything. You gotta make sure that you heavily season this guy. It's a very well seasoned piece of pork belly. So this is going to be perfect. We're going to go ahead and bag this guy up. For first, we're going to go ahead and do this with the other 2. Please hang tight. Okay, so we got all of our bacon completely covered in our seasoning. Now what we're going to do, we're going to bag it and tag it. We're going to go ahead and throw it in some Ziploc bags. We're going to toss it in the fridge and we're going to let it cure for the next 4 to 5 days, flipping every other day, okay? I got these absolutely huge 2.5 gallon bags. You don't need anything quite this large. A normal gallon bag will work, but I like to go with these extra ones because what you don't want to do, you don't want to get really any seasoning in this lip there and seal all that good. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and grab one of these. Try to avoid the edges as much as you possibly can. And we're going to go ahead and just stick this guy in there. Okay. So we're going to wrap this up and we're going to stick it in the fridge. 2 boys. Welcome back. So it's been about 5 days since we put our bacon in the fridge to cure. So during that time, what you want to do, simply just take these packages out and rotate them every other day, okay? So you want to make sure that you're flipping your bacon, because if you notice, so you have all this moisture that pulled from the pork belly. So all that salt, it brought all that liquid out of there. So that's going to leave for a nice, firm, cured pork belly. So it's done curing. So what we got to do now, you would think you would want to put it right on the smoker, but that's incorrect. What we want to do next, we want to take this inside, we want to run it under the sink and wash off all this extra season and spices. Because if you smoked it right now, it'd be way too salty, too much on there. So we're going to go ahead and give it a quick rinse, and we'll be back on the smoker. So for today's cook, we're going to be using some Blue Hog barbecue briskets. I've never used these before. I'm quite excited to see how they do. Let's get after it. Well, there's your problem. Well, that's not good. If any smoker manufacturers want to gift me a smoker, I will make you some amazing content. All right, so for this bacon today, we're gonna be looking for about a 3.5 to 4 hour cook. We want our pork to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees. We don't wanna go beyond that. If we cook it too hot, the fat's gonna render out and you're gonna have a globby mess. That's not what bacon is. Bacon, we gotta slowly cook this thing, bring the temperatures up so all the fat begins to render but stops. It reaches that kind of like that midpoint. You're gonna see we're gonna create some really tasty bacon, y'all. All right, so our bacon is just about ready to hit the smoker. So what I like to do, I like to pre-soak my wood. So I got some B&B hickory here. So I got a little tin, it's full of water. So we're gonna soak this wood for probably 20, 30 minutes before we get the smoke going. So that way this creates a really, really thick, heavy smoke. We wanna impact the most flavor we can possibly do on this bacon. It's gonna be delicious, guys. Stick around, I'll show you what else to do. Okay, so we just got done. We rinsed off our bacon. We got our smoker all fired up. We got our wood soaking. It's getting pre-treated right now. So the last thing that I like to do, I know it sounds counterintuitive, I like to re-season my bacon. You're like, dude, we just washed it off, what the hell? No, so this is gonna add just a little bit of extra. You know, when you get that store-bought, really thick, heavily smoked bacon that has all that seasoning on it, that's kind of what we're going for. So right now, this isn't gonna really add a whole bunch of flavor, but it is gonna add some texture and a little bit of color, and it's gonna make this bacon go from average, middle-of-the-road bacon to over-the-top, best bacon I've ever had. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit it heavy, again, with our coarse black pepper. We want a nice ridge on this. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna season this guy. We're not gonna measure nothing. We're not gonna use a little shaker. We're just gonna go straight from the bottle right onto this bacon. We're gonna give this Bayou bacon just a really, really heavy bark. Lastly, what we're gonna do, we're gonna slap it a couple times with our Slap Yo Mama. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this red color. It's gonna add a little bit of that heat too. We got all that maple sugar, all that sweetness that just kind of burrowed its way into this bacon. So now we're gonna add a little bit of this bite. It's gonna get that freaking delicious heat. It's gonna be really, really rich, really salty, sweet, savory, and you're gonna have that nice heat to balance it out. You see how easy this is, guys? We're almost done. All we gotta do is smoke it. I'm using my old offset smoker. It may not be pretty, but she's gonna get the job done. So bring your temperature up to 250 degrees and make sure you evenly space your pork. So when you're putting these on there, you wanna make sure that there's plenty of air gaps in between. You don't wanna get them really close. You need the smoke to circulate all the way through. And I am laying these fat cap down. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You can do up or down. It's gonna turn out the same. Oh man, would you just look at it? Those things are glistening. They are so good. They all three reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees. So at this point, we're gonna wanna go ahead and pull them off and let them sit in the fridge for a couple of hours. So that way they can kind of tack up and then we can get them onto the meat slicer and ready to go. If you stuck around this long in the video, that must mean you like my content. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Please comment down below on what you want to see on future episodes. We're just about finished. Let me show you the rest of the way on how to finish up this bacon. I set these guys on a 1/4 inch on my meat slicer and go ahead and ran them through. If you don't have a meat slicer, a butcher knife work perfectly fine. I've done it 100 times before. All right, so finish cutting up your meat, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna vacuum seal the rest and fry up a couple pieces just to give it a quick little taste. So our bacon has been cured, it's been smoked, it's been cut up. Now all we gotta do left is cook it and vacuum seal it. Let's go. That's some really good bacon. Really? Yum. So the best thing about doing bacon at the house, it's really thick. There's a nice texture to it. It's not that, you know, that run-of-the-mill crappy stuff that you get at the store. This is the real deal, guys. So thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Look at all of the bacon.